Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Madhuri and we're going to be talking today about parenting your teen, team leader style. So you've been at parenting for a few years now, 12, 13 years, and you've just been promoted to the parent of a teenager, so congratulations. But well, it does make the diaper changing and the sleepless night phase a little easier, doesn't it? And how do you really deal with the apple of your eye suddenly feeling like a thorn in your finger? Let's really understand what goes on with a teenager and why we see a lot of the behaviors that we do. A teenager is really dealing with a lot of changes, a lot of development in their bodies, in their brain, and a lot of changes at the hormonal level. And along with this, they're also really growing up, they're maturing, they're trying to figure out how to establish an identity of their own that's separate from you as a parent and also separate from their friends. And then they try to make sense of it all. As a parent, you're going through a difficult phase too. You're trying to deal with your cuddly little child becoming all grown up and independent. You're also afraid to let go and let them explore their boundaries, explore their independence. And a lot of times it can seem like they're always trying to get to you, they're trying to catch you at your worst, and they definitely know which keys to really push to get you agitated, to get you frustrated, right? Is that what it feels like? A lot of you who are working can probably go into work and handle a huge number of youngsters on your team. You deal with their ups and downs and you communicate perfectly with them, get the job done. And yet when you come back home, here you are not being able to deal with your teenager, right? So let's see how you can bring your team leader skills home and use that to communicate better with your teenager and to improve your relationship. Really all starts with some thinking and some planning. You really need to start thinking about your teenager as somebody who's on your team, somebody who can perform really well, and somebody who needs some attention and maybe some open communication to really push them to be their best. Yeah. One of the key things about being a team leader is to keep the communication channels open, right? You need to be approachable, you need to be accessible, they need to be able to talk to you when they want to without you reacting. Yeah. Usually when your teenager walks up to you and wants to discuss something, it's probably not a good time because you're busy, you're trying to get some work done, you have deadlines, right? So pick a time to communicate with your teenager when you're not in a hurry, when you're also not hungry, they're not hungry. So after dinner is usually a good time. It'll also give you some time to think about what they're talking to you about, and instead of reacting, you can actually choose to come back the next day and respond to what they're saying. When your youngster walks up to you to tell you something, they might have really come with something important to tell you, and if at that point your body language says, I can't deal with this right now, I don't want to hear this, I'm mad at you for some other reason and I don't want to talk to you, you might lose out on an opportunity to have a very meaningful and open conversation with your teenager. So remember, as a parent, you have really got to be the more balanced and matured person in this relationship. A key thing about being a team leader is that you have to believe in your team, right? You have to also trust them to do the right thing. While you can put out certain rules or expectations, you have to let them perform. You have to let them actually do their best at it and come back to you. You also have to show consistency. You need to take a stand that if you're going to trust them, you are, and if you can stick to that, they will come back and talk to you. You may not like what they're saying to you all the time, and you really need to coach yourself into responding to that instead of reacting, right? Always keep an eye on that emotional up and down that's going on inside of you when they're telling you something and your first reaction is no, this can't happen, or your reaction is saying, oh, this is not what I want, right? When you let these feelings come up is when they will withdraw, they will stop communicating with you, and that's definitely headed for trouble. It's very important for a teenager to have some space, and also important for you as a parent of a teenager to give yourself some space, right? They are really learning to deal with being transitioned into an adult, and they will want to spend some time on their own, and this is where there's also some more trouble nowadays, because we're all home, we're all in each other's faces. They they feel that they're really spending too much time with us. Put yourself in their shoes and think about it in a work setup. If in the work setup you walk in with a great idea and your manager or your team lead just rejects it outright with a no, saying, hey, listen, I'm busy and I don't want to listen right now, okay? Or even worse, tells you, oh no, that's not our goal at all, you're completely off the track, this is not the goal the team has, so we're not even going to talk about this. What would your reaction be? That's what happens in the mind of your team every time they come up to you with any enthusiasm, wanting to talk about some new idea they've had, some new plan they have, right? Give them a good listening. Just listen to them with a neutral mind, and then give yourself enough time to respond. In all probability, if you just give them a neutral hearing, they will come back to you in a day or two saying, oh, hey, you know what, I've just let go of that idea, it wasn't great in the first place, right? As being a teenager can be quite difficult. In their minds, they also know that they need to have goals for the future, they need to know where to go, but it really isn't that easy, is it? And they're really exploring a whole bunch of ideas, okay? And when they come to you with these ideas, if you can coach yourself to listen, to just listen like a team leader listens to somebody coming up with a new idea and saying, okay, yeah, so let's see where it goes, yeah, after you've heard them out, that will really help keep the communication going. And one thing is for sure, you'll at least know what's going on with them all the time. The other thing about being a team leader is to get your team, to get everybody on your team working towards the same goal. What happens with, as a parent with us, is that we have our own goals and our own vision for the youngster, and they have their own goals. They might be short-term goals. They might be thinking, I just want to get done with the next exam. I just want to have fun with my friends. I just want to chill out, right? And that's a reason also there are so many clashes, because we're constantly, even when we're communicating, as a parent, I'm only focusing on my goal and they are only focusing on their goal, right? So it's good to sit down as a family and communicate sometimes, or just sit down with your teenager and communicate and see if you can align your goals. Yeah, if you can actually have a conversation when everybody's in a good mood, things are okay. If you can talk to really align your goals, that will help them believe that you are supporting them, instead of the attitude that they usually might give you, which is to say you don't care about me, or you're against me all the time. During this stay home time, what I hear from a lot of parents is that the teenagers are not cooperative. There's a lot of work at home. They're not helping out, and there are arguments, throughout the day. How do you deal with this? Yeah, I would suggest make your household tasks, or whatever it is that you want them to be helping you with. Sit down at dinner time and assign tasks. Make it a democratic process. You can actually say, look, there are so many tasks, everybody is working, and what can you help out with? Yeah, and give them responsibility. Yes, it's not about, when you're in a rush, you just expect them to walk in and help you. That's not going to happen. That's really what can give rise to a lot of arguments. Yes, so if you can make it a democratic process, let them know that you trust them to be a responsible member of the household. Yeah, and set out a task and a time frame in which they can get it done every single day. Contribute to what the family is doing at home. You'll probably find that they're more cooperative at it. Like anyone on your team, your youngster also needs to feel appreciated. So when they do get a job done, when they have done whatever's been delegated to them, praise them, and definitely acknowledge what they have done for you. I think one of the biggest lessons the COVID situation has taught us is that our teenagers and our youngsters really need to be empowered with a lot of things, and the complete focus on academics is not going to be a great approach. Yes, so encouraging even your child or your preteen or your teenager with their hobby, whether it's art or it's dance or it's music, it could be anything. It could be a sport, a physical activity. Encourage them, because this is what will build resilience. It will build a life skill. It will prepare them for whatever's going to come next in their lives. If as the parent you're always also going up against them, if you're always fighting back, you're just going to worsen the situation. Yeah, so take some space and time for yourself. Do an activity that calms you down. Could be yoga, could be music. Really work on staying in a calm mind zone yourself, and that will definitely help deal with the situation much better. It's important to never lose sight of why you're doing this. I would suggest keep baby pictures of your teenager around you to always remind you why you're in this. Yes, and do remember, this is a passing phase. If you can support them through this as a team lead, they will respect you. They will come out, with flying colors. Well, we hope you like these ideas. Do let us know what you tried out and how it worked for you. Do let us know your thoughts down here in the comments. And we'll be back soon with more ideas on parenting. Until then, stay safe. Bye.